A typical state court structure consists of 4 levels. The lower 2 levels are referred to as courts of original jurisdiction, or trial courts, and the upper 2 levels are referred to as courts of appellate jurisdiction, or appeals courts. The first level in the typical state court structure is referred to as a court of limited jurisdiction. Criminal cases heard in this court will involve misdemeanor offenses or the initial proceedings in felony cases. In Texas, a justice of the peace court and a county court are courts of limited jurisdiction. The second level in the typical state court structure is the court of general jurisdiction. This court is a major trial court and will hear felony cases. In Texas, the court of general jurisdiction is formally called a district court. The third level in the typical state court structure is referred to as an intermediate appellate court. All properly filed appeals are heard at this level, and they are non-discretionary. In Texas, the intermediate appellate courts are referred to formally as courts of appeals. The fourth level in the typical state court structure is referred to as the court of last resort. States with an intermediate appellate court level provide for discretionary appeals at the court of last resort, which means the court decides whether or not to actually hear the case. Unless the case involves a constitutional issue, this will be the last chance for an appeal to be heard. Cases that involve constitutional questions, such as Lawrence v. Texas or Johnson v. Texas, can be heard by the U.S. Supreme Court. The only exception in Texas are death penalty cases, which are heard directly by the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals rather than by an intermediate appellate court. In Texas, we actually have 2 courts of last resort. The Texas Court of Criminal Appeals hears criminal cases, and the Texas Supreme Court is the final arbiter for civil cases, which also include juvenile justice matters.